This is, I got Blue Bottle cold brew.
You do?
That's what this is. Blue Bottle cold brew.
Are you jacked up?
I'm about to be.
Hey, everybody.
Oh, hi, everyone.
Welcome. Hey, sweetie. Welcome to episode 12 of Sweethearts with Beth Stelling. And that's...
I'm Mo Welch.
Nailed it.
God, it's so
I'm sorry,
nerve-wracking.
I'm still on my phone. Kamala Harris texted me and she won't stop.
I know. It's such
Has
good
she been
branding.
texting you too?
I've been getting more emails. I'd say I've been getting 10 emails a day.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm getting a ton of texts. What's
Have
that
you given
say?
any money yet? I don't
no,
like when
and I
people ask for
actually
money that
won't.
much.
I'm not giving any money.
Yeah.
I can't see that helping anything that I care about.
Maybe I'll give $10.
Okay, I mean, I guess I'll give $10.
I give a lot. I give money to GoFundMes of people I don't know.
Same.
But
And
I do
give
think that
money
helps
to-
more.
Yes, that's
I
what
know
I'm talking
exactly
about. I
where
give
it's
money
going.
to Liz Winstead's Abortion Access Force.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main one I give money to.
Yeah.
I'm like not about to give the DNC money.
Isn't it weird that that's like on your record too? Not that you'd be embarrassed, but
I mean, speaking of on the record, I mean, who's ever had an abortion? If there's a log of that, then I'll see it at the camps.
is there?
I'm sure. In fact, I remember that my provider was like, I'm not kidding, this was whenever it was, years ago, said, because I had taken Plan B and basically didn't, it doesn't matter. Like, that's supposed to delay your ovulation, but I had apparently already been ovulating. We don't need to get into the weeds of it other than the fact
I'm interested.
Well, I find it interesting actually because that's the purpose of it. However, the reason you're horny is because you're ovulating.
Oh.
It's just so funny because your body's like, gimme.
Yeah.
But your mind is like, no. And so the point is the Plan B, it wasn't effective. So anyway, I see my provider confirm very, very early. Mm-hmm. And she's basically said something along the lines of, because it was, I don't want to get this wrong, but maybe because it was like USC affiliated or something, they would be put on a list if she was the one to prescribe me the mifepristone, which by the way, in our last episode,
Is that Plan B?
No, that is the
Mifepristone?
abortion pill.
Oh, okay.
Mifepristone is the shirt I was wearing on our last episode.
Oh.
It looks like LaCroix, but it says L'Abortion. And it's Abortion Access Forces, one of their merch things. But she couldn't prescribe me the abortion pill because it would something about, this is why it even came to mind. It would be like on a list, or they would potentially lose funding, or I feel bad. I don't remember the details, but it was along the lines of my provider at the time couldn't give it to me because of either some list in regard to funding or religion or the school. I have no clue. But the point is Planned Parenthood came to the rescue. And I
they said,
got
go here.
I got the abortion pill from Planned Parenthood.
Right.
And took that and jump-started a late period.
I do think that's, I mean, if they... with the whole record with it being affiliated, it's possible it is because it's affiliated with the school, and then you're like, well, why do you have a fucking medical center then if you're just going to be like,
you know who needs these?
Pick and choose.
Everybody at this school.
Yeah, because when we had we went through USC fertility to have our baby, and there were a lot of rules, and like I do understand them, but it did feel weird that like, because you do have to like, and I know I talk about it in my jokes too, it's like you do have to go through a lawyer, and you have to go to therapy, and you have to have this woman's like yell at you and be like, this is not, like, yell at our sperm donor, this is not your child, this is not your grandparents' child, that's not how it worked, like really like boot camp sort of like Maury.
To the sperm donor.
Yeah,
they yelled at him,
and also will yell at us is like, this is like basically giving us like where the boundaries are. And it did feel like that guy on Maury Povich.
Yeah. You are not the father.
Yeah.
Because I learned that from your guys' experience. I put that in my act. Because I'm like, our gay friends have to go to therapy before they have a child. Make that for everybody.
Yeah. And then mine is basically the other way. It goes, I had to do this. It's not a bad idea. Then people clap. Mm-hmm. And then I say, we would never be, like, none of us would be here if that were the case. Because like truly, can you imagine your parents going to therapy before? Can you imagine your parents going to therapy together, period? Can you imagine your parents going to therapy right before having you?
Can you imagine your parents in the same room?
Can you imagine your parents kissing?
I cannot.
Yeah. Can you imagine? I just like, it took my mom so long to go to therapy. I don't blame her because therapy is boring and scary. It has no snacks, but, and I've told you this, right? I talk about it on stage, even though it doesn't, it's almost like
It's going to
not relatable enough. Okay.
On stage.
Thank you. My mom, when she started to go to a therapist, she goes to a sports psychologist. I tell you this, she goes for elite athletes. Wait. So she goes to this guy named Bob. And I call it like, it's like a Catholic's way of saying like, I'll go to therapy, but it will be of no help to me. And so she goes to this guy. She's gone to him for years.
She might as well be going to a veterinarian.
Absolutely. It's like going to a veterinarian for your like physical ailments.
I mean, look, they put me on gabapentin, which is a dog trank. I was on gabapentin maybe 2 years ago, and it made me irritable. And whenever I said I was on it, people were like, my dog's on that. I was like,
you're like, this cannot be right.
I was like, really?
You're like, that's interesting. And then you're like wearing a flea collar. Yeah. So she goes, she's been going to this guy forever. And then my grandma started to go to the same guy. And I'm like,
what's this guy doing? What's he got that we don't?
Bob.
Hello, Dr. Bobby.
I mean, I really wanted, when my mom was going to set Mary Kate up with some therapy, my younger sister. Mm-hmm. Happy birthday, Mary Kate, by the way.
Happy birthday, Mary Kate. Cheers.
She's turning the big 3-0.
Welcome to the world, little girl.
Yes. She goes, okay, fine. I'll let you send me to therapy, but it can't be Bob.
I'll let you send me.
Yeah.
She's like, but I absolutely
She's like, I do not need a sports psychologist.
I need a large animal specialist, veterinarian. Speaking of elite sports doctors, Dr. Keith Pine absolutely whispered and fixed my knee.
Oh, tell me more. This is what the podcast is about: eating sweets and talking about how we're fixing our ailments.
Yeah. So as you age, your body gets creakier, and my knee, there was no incident, but my knee on the outside, my right knee, started hurting. I used to be able to drop it like
what do you mean on the outside, like right here?
Yeah, like right here.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically like that around the edge of my outside knee.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I could drop it to the floor at any minute.
Yeah.
And it just started hurting. I was like favoring my left side. I was still playing field hockey, still am. Again, I say no incident, meaning no like
there's like no ACL tear sort of thing.
So after I played hockey on Sunday with some of the other Masters players, if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, I play for the U.S. Women's Masters team, the field hockey team, which basically means older ladies.
Yeah. I love it.
So I'm playing with them, training on Sunday for about 3 hours. And then I'm going to go meet Adam and the kids at the beach for a beach day. And my friend and model and volleyball star, Gabby Reese. Whenever I'm at the beach, I always think of her because she's kind of lives somewhat near. So I texted her and I was like, we're going to the beach, blah, blah, blah. Maybe we'll stop by after Neptune's Net because the kids love that spot. So she says, yeah, what's going on? Or stop by, have the kids come swim or whatever. And she's like, what's going on? Because I think I'd mentioned my knee hurting. I was like, ugh, I'm going to go swim. My knee's hurting.
Right. She
goes, definitely stop by. Dr. Pine's actually here. And maybe he can take a look. I was like, it's annoying, when you see people like your friends not accepting help. And so like that's the last person I really kind of want to be. Yeah. Is somebody who's just like, oh no,
it's fine.
I don't need him to look. I was like, okay, great. I'll accept that help.
I love leaning into that.
Yeah. So we're swimming with the kids and stuff. And normally they do like a lot of working out. Gabby Reese is married to Laird. And he and her do a lot of like great workouts in the backyard. By
the way, because we're a Sweets podcast, he has some products, the Laird brand or whatever, up in my refrigerator. I fucking love it.
Yes, look into their products. I love them too. Yeah. They have the greens. I think it's called Daily Greens. Yeah, they helped me. I drank them almost every day when I was abroad at that Argentina tournament.
They also have coconut. They have coconut powder that you put in water, and it's kind of like what you would do with like Country Time lemonade.
Yes, exactly.
Kool-Aid. It's so good.
And so we're swimming. Me and Gabby are catching up. Adam's like throwing the kids, and then Dr. Keith starts walking down the driveway, and I like wave hi, and he comes to the edge, and like before I say anything, he's like, "It's your right knee," and I was like, "Yeah." like the outside. I was like, and Gabby's like, no incident.
That's
she
so hot.
She flies a lot, sits at a desk, plays hockey. And he goes, it's a result from a sprain on your right ankle. And I was like, whoa. Because I'd been doing sprint training like 2 years ago, and the front of it, of my ankle, like I took off and it just was never the same. It hurt so bad. Like I couldn't go, because I'm very flexible as a kid from from gymnastics, and that's carried over fairly well. Yeah. Anyway, I'm like, what is happening? How did you know that? So then he's like, whenever you want to get out of the pool, come inside. And he opened up his table, like, you know, like a massage table, sports medicine, and worked on my knee, worked on my right hip, because basically it was traveling up to my hip and causing problems, worked on my left side. Basically, I don't know what you call this type of therapy. It's not massage therapy, but whatever.
It's like, is it between
Part of me wants to say
massage?
the word modality.
Okay.
But the point is, he's moving me around. Okay. Rubbing stuff to the point of like pain, obviously. Yeah. There's some pain.
Does it feel a little bit like a chiropractor, but different?
Yeah, there's no massage? Like cracking or anything like that. But yeah, he like sees it.
I think that's so
he's
hot.
So talented.
That's
like
amazing.
He just knows so much. Yeah. And you know what else is interesting? Fun fact for the listeners about what looks like a rash on my ankles. Yeah. You've seen them, right? The rash. Yeah. So on the tops of my ankles, that's a weird, what is the name of that spot on your body? It's the front of your
front of your foot,
but it's the above your foot. It's in.
Wait, what is it?
It goes like this. If your ankle is like here and here, and here's your noggin, and then your foot goes like that, it's like right here.
It's the top of your foot.
It's the top of.
That's what I would call it. Okay.
On both, at first, it was like a small little patch, and it almost looked like we thought it wasn't a ring. So you want to call it ringworm, but it wasn't a ring. It almost looked like
poison ivy, not poison ivy, but
it looked like something. Yeah. This was like truly now 3 years ago, if not more. Or less. I don't know. I'm terrible at telling time. Anyway, I hope you guys are eating, but I have this. So it looked like a rash, and we were all kind of scared. Alana was like, could be something you're eating, because we were in Texas.
And then we thought maybe it was something you were wearing.
Like socks. She was like, these jellies she was wearing. Okay. I eventually figured out. It took forever. I saw a dermatologist. I asked my brother-in-law, who's a doctor. I got many opinions. And basically it's granuloma. Wait, I love how I lost it.
You had it right there. Yeah. Like
granular. It's Christina Aguilera is what I have.
Christina Aguilera.
Granular annuloma.
Granular annuloma.
Okay. So, and it's kind of there forever. Like I think it disappears for some people, but it can come.
And what is it?
So the way it was described to me initially by my derm was like, sometimes after your body weathers a virus, COVID, which I had. Yeah. And I was vaccinated by, I can't remember. It wasn't Johnson & Johnson. It was the other one. Moderna. Oh. Moderna. Okay. My body weathered the storm. Yeah. And then sometimes that happens for people after they like go through a virus. It's like, and he said he could get rid of it by injecting steroids or something. I was like, no thanks. I'll have these spots on my ankles forever, I guess. Yeah. And tell massage therapists forever that don't worry, it's not
because
contagious.
if they shot it with steroids, it would still come back, right?
I think it's like to disperse that. But anyway, the reason I'm even thinking of it, and I'm so sorry that this is a sweets podcast and I'm talking about rashes. Well, no, it's not even a rash. It's like a body.
And I would argue to say that this is a rash podcast where sometimes we eat sweets. Like, well,
you know what? I could actually bring it back. When I was seeking opinions on it, someone was like, it could be a yeast infection because of all the sweets I eat. And anyway, but
on the top of your foot, I have a yeast infection on the top of my foot. But that's the
thing. I think things settle in your feet. I think for some people, which is why people who with some issues get that like really big, blown up. What am I trying to say? Weight retention down there and all that. Anyway, long story short, and I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. It made me feel so much better because he saw those and he said some of my players, because he's like a trainer too, like professional baseball players, right, have those sometimes on their elbow and other places, and I'm imagining it's similarly linked and to whatever the virus and the vaccine and all that stuff.
So you were like, oh, so it's just like elite athletes that get this rash. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
We've actually we're kind of past, we're not post COVID because everybody's getting it right now again. Yeah. But we are sort of in a way, like everybody is kind of over it because if you think about it, you and I have never had like a vaccine conversation, and this is when we like to come out as I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we're anti-vax.
I mean,
Can you imagine? You know how like those articles always pull quotes, and it's so you're like, you have to listen to the whole podcast. Imagine it says Stelling and Mo Welch
anti-vax.
There's my fucking phone.
Did it die?
Yeah, it's fine.
Are you okay?
I don't know. I'm gonna do this podcast without looking at my phone while you're talking.
This whole time I've been in a conversation. I have an ear pod on this side. I discovered, and I've been listening to a podcast.
You're like, you're listening.
I'm listening to a podcast right now.
You're listening to WTF, which Beth is gonna be on.
Oh yeah,
can't wait.
I'm kind of nervous.
Can't wait.
I'm nervous about it. Okay, so listeners have called in, and told us some of their coffee stories. Oh wait, hold on. I'm getting a call from Kamala.
Are you really?
Hello. Oh, because Mo actually had a rice cake with peanut butter.
I did
before, which reminded me of a snack my mom loved.
What is it?
That, but also sometimes she would put cottage cheese on top of it.
No,
cottage cheese was maybe my number one food group as a child.
I loved cottage cheese.
What was your top 4 food or loves as a child in the realm of?
I mean, it had to be like egg salad sandwich.
Yes.
It had to be cottage cheese and peaches.
Yeah, I'm not going to do the peach thing, but
what did you do? Just plain?
Raw.
Pepper?
No.
Nothing. Just
raw cottage.
No, I couldn't do that. I'm actually really surprised you did raw cottage.
Yeah.
You didn't put any sort of fruit
Not that I recall. In fact, I would say I was almost anti-fruit.
Wow. Good humor bars, the ones that have like the nutty things on them.
Oh.
The chocolate nutty, and then they had strawberry shortcake.
Shortcake, or what was the chocolate one?
It was a chocolate eclair, I think.
You're right.
I think that's what, and then the strawberry shortcake.
God, I loved those. They were 40 cents at the
Did you eat them shop. Like I had to eat off all the little balls cents. First?
What I would do on the Good Humor chocolate was I'd do the top 2.
Yeah.
Down the side.
Yeah. Yes.
And then
Wait, did you do? I literally took it with scraping my teeth. Yeah. Took off all of the the outside of it, and then once that you got in the middle and it was just that chocolate after you passed the vanilla.
It was rich.
Ink. We had the Schwan Man. Do you guys have the Schwan Man?
Ours was basically just like a box that a 6th grader ran.
Oh, okay.
Like a cooler.
Yeah.
At lunchtime, but inflation got me. It went up to 60 cents.
So you didn't have them at home?
6th grade.
You just had cottage cheese at home?
I can't believe you guys had them at home. You guys were
we had
poor.
the Schwan Man.
Okay.
The Schwan Man, even when we were poor, we'd get it because it came once a month. And all these ice creams. That's why that story about me eating ice cream when we're trying to run away from our dad. And I'm making sure that we don't waste any of the ice cream. If you want to know, you just have to watch Dad Jokes, and I'm sorry.
Watch Dad Jokes, please. It's on YouTube. What's stopping you?
Yeah,
it's
for real.
mostly a sour special, and it's really funny.
Come on now.
I just wanted to say grilled cheese as well as that. And dill pickles.
Cheese, 100%. Pickles, absolutely not. If a pickle was even near me, I would.
Dill pickles? I would eat
any kind of pickles.
Wow. And still, or no? Just as we're talking about kids stuff.
Really, it wasn't a craving when I was pregnant, but right before I was pregnant, I was like, I'm going to see what these are all about. I only started eating pickles, which I can only have like 2 bites because it's too salty.
God, the bread and butter pickles are actually a crime. Anything that's not a dill pickle, I'm like, what are you doing to me?
No, I'm talking about the Disneyland pickles, which is a dill pickle. It's like one of those big ones.
Okay.
Yeah, handheld.
I like Spears.
Yeah.
I also like the sandwich slice ones. There's new ones I can't remember. I'm gonna have to find them. They're at Whole Foods. They were the best dill pickles I've had in a long time, and they came in a little
I don't like how salty all of them are, though.
I like salt. And I also love the smell of gasoline.
I do too. And matches. You like the smell of matches? Really?
I can't remember.
God, you're disgusting.
Okay, sweet news. I look kind of like Judah Friedlander.
You're in 30 Rock.
Hello. Okay, you start if you want.
Well, my sweet news, even though my phone died.
Do you need to look it up on mine?
No, I was actually just wanting to talk about current events. Even though this is going to come out 2 weeks after, but Tim Walz is the VP pick for Kamala, and I feel like that was I've been watching a lot of videos of him.
Yeah.
And I've been fooled by a man many a time, but I feel like he is truly a coach. Coach Tim is what we're going to be calling him. And he feels like actually a genuinely good guy. And I saw that he gave, I mean, it's all over TikTok. It's just like that he made it so that public schools in Minnesota would have free lunch and breakfast for kids. And I thought that was like I cannot believe that that's not done in every single public school, to be honest.
I know.
And it was just reminding me of, because we had free lunches growing up too, and how much like it's, how much it's worth it, number one, but also, and like needed.
Yeah.
But also
free
number
to
two.
Focus all day. Some kids aren't eating at home.
But number two, wanted to talk about how the free lunch was embarrassing. Everybody knew. So like you had to be like candid about like when you went up there so that your friends wouldn't see that you're going to say that you had free lunch. And then also it was fucking disgusting. It was like disgusting stale hot dogs. It was so gross. But I think food is better now.
Did other kids who paid get better food?
Yeah.
Stop.
There was like a line. You could only get it was limited. You couldn't get the cookies with the ice cream.
That's
obviously
sick.
I know. It was just like whatever they had. So the free lunch would be like, they'd like nasty fries, and then it was all stuff that make you fall asleep.
Yeah.
It was never like grilled chicken. Not that when I was a kid I was going to be getting that. Starch. Yeah, no. It was starch on starch, and then it was like, it was all carb loading, and then you'd go to the vending machine and get, root beer.
I got a carbo load for social studies,
and then dead asleep the rest of the day.
Through the Cold War.
So bad. But yeah, it was just like, oh, this seems like I didn't know who he was before. I love Minneapolis. I love performing there.
Is ahead of its time.
It is. I love pretty much anyone I've met from Minnesota. I love him.
To Tom. I call him Tom Nook because I was playing a little bit of Animal Crossing during the pandemonium, but his name's Tom Milton, and he's a fan of mine that we've become friends, and he used to wear a captain's hat to my shows all the time.
Wait, so you guys met on Animal Crossing?
No, that's just why I call him Tom Nook. He's Tom Nook on my phone. But he comes to all my shows in Minneapolis.
I love the people of Minneapolis. So that's my sweet news. Boring.
I love you, Minneapolis, too.
I love you more.
No, that's why I shot my special Girl Daddy in Minneapolis.
Oh shit, you did. I didn't.
It's so funny to say, like, well, because I did shoot the half hour for Netflix, the first one of the stand-ups in LA, which I enjoyed, and I liked filming here. But I was just thinking, like, Mo's dad joke was filmed here in LA, and it's like, oh, well, I used to have a choice, like, oh, I'm gonna go film it here, and now I'm like, if I make another special, it has to be in LA.
Yeah,
like I want to do it in Chicago, but if I'm making it myself, which it sounds like I am,
then
I have to do it here. And I'm so sorry to everybody who wanted. I said I was going to come to Chicago and do it, but wow, I really got ahead of myself.
It was listen, it's the cheapest in LA. I'm not going to say like our crowds we've been lucky with, in LA, but like for the most part you don't want to film your special in LA because people, the crowds are usually like, impress me, bitch.
Sometimes, but I've had such good luck.
No, recently it's been
I love LA
actually
crowds.
Pretty nice, but
for the record, I should say too, because I don't want to shat on myself.
Yeah.
The reason I can't get my special made, the feedback will be like, it's so funny, really great material, not enough followers. So,
isn't that wild?
Yeah, I don't want to like be too negative on myself because it is a weird time for me. I'll be honest. Like as a comic, I feel insecure. Like, which sucks because you want to be like, I'm having fun, I'm good at my job, and it's like, I am good at my job. Yeah, like I have to remind myself.
Yeah,
that the special that you directed that I just did last year was listed as the best of the year with Marc Maron and Gaffigan. Yeah, I'm like, and yet that doesn't really matter.
It's hard because it's like
to the people buying specials. I should say it matters to me and it matters to fans who I deeply appreciate. And
you
love.
have like the thing is everybody wants in a lot of ways what you have, which is the respect of other comedians. It's like you are a darling and everybody loves your comics comic, and it's hard. I understand it because it's hard because you're like, but my worth should, know your worth.
I don't want to be bitter. I don't want to be like woe is me. Because like you're saying, I take great pride in that. Like comics seek me out to do punch up on their work. Like that is the highest honor to me.
Yeah.
So I love my job.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be my confidence determined by who wants to buy a special for me. It's just that I think for so long it probably was tied to that, and now things are changing and I have to adjust.
Yeah.
So thanks for letting me
look out for an adjustment coming up soon.
Yeah, I'm going to start chopping up
She's gonna be
things
adjusting.
that matter to me.
Yeah.
into digestible bites and spoon.
Oh my God. I will say I want to do my next special in Minneapolis.
You should.
Just in case somebody listening wants to help, because I want to shoot it at the bowling alley. There's like this bowling alley that has a theater.
Cool.
And I want to shoot it. I've decided my next special is about bowling. So let me know if you know anything about bowling and want to teach me. I would absolutely love that.
I'm pretty good at bowling.
How good?
I break 100.
Okay, you're in.
Adam has his own ball.
Okay.
And he does
you guys are both in.
The spinny thing.
That's what I want to learn to do, is the spinning thing.
Thing.
But I don't want to.
I'm crossing my right leg over my left, which
it's working.
Not something I was able to do. I guess the sweet news for me is that LaCroix sent me this hat.
That is cool. I love that you have that LaCroix sends you gifts.
I stan LaCroix, and it just goes to show. I mean, obviously I like it because I like it all the time, but it does go to show that they send me like a little Christmas ornaments. I get fun little drinkies from them.
The
and cups.
Christmas tree
with ornaments. And I'm like, I think it would be different if I didn't like their product, but I love their product and it makes me stand them harder.
Yeah.
But again, as discussed, what is naturally essenced? Please do.
Yeah, we don't know what that is.
Because it could be bad. And I'm going to crumble inside maybe someday.
We'll never know, I think. I think it's like one of America's top secrets. Naturally the KGB will figure it out.
Should we listen to some of our sweeties?
My phone is dead.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we'll listen to next week if you don't mind waiting.
Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so sorry.
How funny is that?
So I guess you'll have to wait because I'll bring out the coffee
I didn't
binder.
charge it while I was sleeping, and I know that I'm an adult.
I think it just goes to show that we're sort of DIY here, you know?
Yeah, and I'm
only what we can give you.
We're DIY. Listen, we moved back to the garage because we wanted to get back to us, and getting back to us means my phone dies.
Getting back to us means we're doing it with just us and Leah.
Yeah.
And we're with All Things Comedy, and they'll never hear me say this, but they do absolutely nothing.
You know what I was going to say on that note is that we need to, guys, if you want to leave a review, I hate to be that person that's like obsessed with you leaving a review.
Sounds like kind of you are, because I already asked them to do that last week.
Yeah, I know, but we only have 3 reviews and they're good. But I'm like, we want to know what you think, if it's good, and we want to know.
But if you have notes, don't put it in the review.
Actually, you could email us if you want.
I still have to get our email back.
Or
no,
if
send
you have
a
notes,
message on Sweethearts Potty.
Yeah, just send it on our Instagram, or
like what you want to hear more of.
Yeah.
Oh, I did get a suggestion
or
from
on
somebody.
Beth's comments on her stand-up.
Somebody wanted us to do a book club, I think.
A book club.
Yeah, because I said I was
How
reading
about a pamphlet club?
Know My Name by Chanel Miller, which I continue. She's a wonderful writer.
Yeah. I would be, I think the good thing about a book club is that's the only way you're going to get me to read a book, because it basically has to be an assignment at this point. I have no time to casually read.
It should be a book club with consequences.
Yeah.
Like what happens if you don't read. That's a good
idea.
How about in this book club, I name the book, we have to read hard copy. We meet here to record each week.
Yeah.
And every week that goes by, you have to bring the book in, right? Because you have a month to read it.
Mm-hmm.
I tear out 7 pages. So if you haven't started it, you're about to lose pages of the book. And I burn them, I guess, for Kindling.
I don't know if then we're going to have to staple all the pages back together. Well, I like the consequences thing. I think that if we can hold ourselves, because I don't know about you, I work very well with a coach. Like I always thought I don't need a therapist. I need a coach that's yelling at me.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're telling me, Mo, you better read 2 chapters.
Or else I'm going to rip the pages out and burn them.
See, that's not that much of a consequence for me. What if you were like, you have to, it's almost like I can't have any sweets. I can't have coffee. That sort of thing would get me going.
Yeah, but I can't control that.
What if you slash my tires if I don't rate it?
I will do that.
Okay.
I will go 60 miles in reverse and chase you.
Absolutely.
Okay, I exaggerated at 60 miles an hour when I chased the kid over the water balloon, and I only drove by twice. I just want to say that.
Yeah.
It sounded a little psychotic that I would drive by 4 times, which I didn't.
Yeah.
Just drove by once, then I had to turn
I'll be
around.
asking my neighbors for their ring cams to see if Beth's telling the truth.
Oh my God. That would be very funny.
Oh my God. That would be your new reel for your Instagram.
Oh my God. I have, I'm going to be at the Comedy Attic in Bloomington, Indiana this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm touring. It kicks off my tour.
Mm-hmm.
BethStelling.com.
What are the dates?
August 16th and 17th, which is a Friday and Saturday in Bloomington, Indiana. And my mom is actually going to be there too.
I love
Saturday.
that.
So she'll be at the merch booth selling. I have these new Beth Head packs, Beth Head starter packs.
Which I've seen and they're awesome.
Yeah, they've got socks in there, women's stand-up comedy socks, invite only sticker of the little uterus, a license to bone official,
yes,
and one other thing I can't remember right now.
Yeah,
I wish I could remember the other.
They're very cool. Is it a greeting card? Socks? Dang. Stress ball?
And I'll be in Tulsa,
Peach.
Oklahoma, August 23rd, and then Houston, August 31st.
Yeah, come out and see us on the road. I mean, number one, come out and see Beth.
Well, definitely come see us on the road.
And then, if you see that Brett Goldstein's playing in your city,
know that Mo Welch is
hopefully
opening.
I'm opening for him on that day.
I imagine you will be. So if you would like to, I'm going to try to find that. This is where I'll be this weekend.
The Comedy Attic.
Can you see this?
Tie-dye shirt.
Should we raffle this off?
Yeah.
What size is it? It's a small, so that's going to limit who wants it.
I like it, but it looks like it's a men's small or unisex.
So if you write us a review.
Yes.
What if I get on your page?
Thank you.
Then I'll send this shirt to you.
Write
I guess
us
you have
a
to
review.
screenshot your review and
No. Write a review and then
put
at
your
the
home
end,
address at the end of the review.
At the end, say, "I want a T-shirt," or say something about the T-shirt so that we know. But you have to write the.
What do they have to say when they send you something free on Amazon? This product was sent to me.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Are we allowed to bribe that? Is that a bribe? Are you allowed to bribe?
I don't know. Arrest me. I don't at this point.
Oh, a postcard is in the Beth Head starter pack.
There it is. How much is it?
$30.
Jesus. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Do you think that's a lot?
No, because the socks are $20
honestly,
anyway.
I'm a terrible businesswoman. But I added that up and I was like, yeah, how much it cost me to make it. And that way you just get everything in one go. Yeah. And the socks are one size fits all.
So if you want the T-shirt, though, write us a review and then say you want the T-shirt in the review.
I don't know. What if they run out of characters?
Just write anything. Write shirt.
Hashtag T.
Yeah, write that your name is T-shirt.
Hashtag low T.
Yeah.
But then how do we get their address?
Well,
I think they have to screenshot it and message our Instagram.
No. Then we'll go to our page, the reviews. We'll read it. We like, this one is our favorite. And then we'll let you know who won. You just have to listen for it.
Again, it's a small. I'll raffle off more fun stuff later without bribing you.
Yeah, we have toxic waste. We have Oreo Sour Patches.
I will say, speaking of, and I think it's already, I know we can't do those right now. I feel sick.
Yeah.
Because those they're called Bean Boozled, the Birdie Bots beans from Harry Potter or whatever.
Oh, so they're disgusting. They're puke.
Is that what they say? Maybe they're not Harry Potter anymore.
Oh wait, can I say? Oh my god, I really want you to do one.
No. What's on the back?
Some of them are good.
No, they're not.
No, yeah.
Then why don't you do it?
Oh, that's why they do it.
One's good and one's bad.
One's good and one's bad.
One's barf and one's like peanut butter pie.
One is barf and one is peach.
Yuck.
Do you want to try?
No, I don't.
Okay, we can.
What
do
I
the
do
same
want to
one.
try is these Sour Patch Kids Oreos.
Okay.
If people want me to try the Bean Boozled, I will, but you have to, again.
I'm sorry, but these collaborations are getting out of hand. Oreo and Sour Patch Kids, aren't you supposed to be competitors? What is happening? This is like
You know those little Sour Patch Kids? They're unruly. They're sneaking into all kinds of packages.
They're
crying about it.
Do you know? I think that they should make a Sour Patch. I think we should write a Sour Patch Kids movie.
Okay. Well, don't give it away here.
Okay, I won't.
Ooh, they smell.
My daughter Cleo stole a few of these.
Oh my gosh, they smell like.
Okay.
What's that smell? Movie theater?
Sour Patch Kids.
You're right. It is Sour Patch Kids.
Oh no, you're right though. It's like very sweet.
Oh, I think it's red vines.
I think you're right. It really does smell like red vines.
Sleeping with the enemy.
How do we not have a sweet show? It's just smelling something for 10 minutes. Lemony.
Snicket. Lemony snicket.
Who in their right mind wants an Oreo that is sour?
All I have to say is like, this is the thing. I don't hate it.
Yeah. I mean, of course it's like good.
Right.
But it's like, why?
You know Newman's, the little cream cookies that are like this? No.
Oh.
Like these exact things, basically. But without Sour Patch. I mean, look.
Oh,
I love the imprinting. I love the...
You love the design?
Yes. You really get to see it when it's this lemon color.
Yeah.
You just know it's there with the regular Oreo, the dark.
Do you like the golden Oreos?
No, I've never gotten them once.
They're not bad, but here's the thing. I don't want to dip this color Oreo in anything, especially if it's sour. But it's like...
You're like the people on Bake where you just take a bite and I feel like I have to finish it.
Well, only because it's bad. If it were good, I'd want to finish it. And I told you I had a donut this morning. A powdered donut.
Okay. It's like pretty lemony. I don't feel good.
It's like, okay. If it were the only dessert and I was like at my grandparents' house and I needed to have dessert that night.
I would eat the whole thing.
Of course, I'd have a sleeve at least. But it's not right. It feels
it's
like
not right. But it's okay. I'm gonna make this anyway. Woo! Close the door behind you. Leave your key. Don't you ever take this Oreo from me.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
I love it when you dance. I think it's because I interrupted you. And I'm sorry. If you're at your grandparents and this was all they had.
Oh no, I was just thinking about how it's like when this is so basketball, when Kyrie Irving and LeBron were doing shoe collaborations with Fruity Pebbles and Lucky Charms, and I'm just like, of course I do have the Lucky Charm ones, and I have the Fruity Pebble ones, but
shoes?
Yeah, but I'm also like,
can I see
how did this collaboration happen? Like how did fucking Fruity Pebbles, Mr. Fruity Pebbles come up to Nike and we're like, hey, we want to do a LeBron shoe? Like, why are we doing collaborations with cereal and shoes?
It's the same reason like what Disney bought FX or whatever. And then, now
they bought
Deadpool
Fruity Pebbles
and Disney and cussing and all this. Yeah,
it's think like having a show
situation.
If it's like it's like having a show. I mean, I guess they did just have a Pop-Tart movie, but if you're like, we're having this new animated show, it's called Fruity Pebbles. Oh, it sounds so good. Never mind.
I love Fruity Pebbles.
God, that's great.
Can I know what the shoes look like? You're talking. There's seriously Lucky Charms shoes.
Look up
that were
Lucky
on sale?
Charms. Kyrie. No,
Lucky
they
Charms
weren't.
Kyrie shoe.
They're actually worth a lot of money.
What? $382 on Kix Crew.
Yeah.
StockX has them listed as $1,800.
Yes, and you better believe I played actual basketball with them, and they are not worth any money. Yeah, I have them in my storage unit.
Okay, and why wouldn't you just hold on to them and not play them to then sell them for?
Because I didn't know they were going to be worth any money.
How much did they cost you?
I got them for free from my friend Emily for my birthday.
Does she regret giving them to you?
Well, they were only $100 at the time.
Wow, StockX has them also for $3,400.
Yeah, mine have basketball guck all over them.
Do you regret playing in them or no?
No, because how could I have known? Plus, I had a lot of really good games.
Also, what is regret? You know what I mean? Like, you can't go back. So why would I ask that question?
But how weird is that?
It's
the collaborations.
Weird.
Do you have any sweet news?
I saw a sign for Mina the cat. They're looking for a home.
Oh, you saw a cat?
Yeah, it looks cute.
Well, how do you know?
Somebody give Mina a home.
It was on the street?
Yeah.
What did the cat look like?
Fluffy.
Oh.
Long hair.
Oh, they'll find a home in no time. It does make
me want to have a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you could have a cat.
I know, but here's the truth. It'll get old and die and like start diarrheaing everywhere.
Yeah, but that's not for a while. Cats live like 20 years.
I think that's the problem. It's a really long time to have an animal.
What if you get a hamster?
No.
That thing will die in no time.
You know, the kids wanted like geckos or salamanders or something. I'm trying to remember what they really wanted.
You know what? When people want reptiles, I'm out.
I agree, but
Cleo better not want one.
The kids want some.
Okay.
And Adam is a smart person and is thinking, let's get some pre-owned salamanders.
That's great. Wait, how long do they live?
Well, whatever the kids want, and I can't think of the species, they last a while.
Wow.
So he's saying, let's get
a turtle?
some used turtles.
That is smart.
He's a very smart person.
Because some of these pets outlive their owners, like the ones that live to 100.
Yeah.
Obviously. Parakeets don't.
Fiona had turtles, and unfortunately they went on vacation and left the heat lamp on thinking it would be okay. And I think they had somebody come in to check and feed or something, and they didn't add more water, and the heat lamp and the rock dried up all the water and totally.
It's like my joke about everybody
grilled up the turtles.
It's, oh God. There's, so parrots live a long time. Like, I think they live to like 60 plus.
Remember there was like a huge parrot infestation in Glendale or something?
Well, there's the Pasadena parrots. And you can hear them. And it's actually really cool. They're in a flock, and it's like super loud, and occasionally they'll go by. It's amazing. I'm like, this rocks.
I think that's the result of what? Somebody sneaking in with a parrot under their shirt or something?
Yeah.
And getting off the airplane, it's like, they're like, what's under your shirt? He's like, nothing. I'm a shirt.
It's just two parrots on top of each other. So we used to have guinea pigs growing up, both of us.
True.
What do you think about getting a guinea pig?
I never liked them. They're so upsetting.
They're dirty.
Really?
They poop a lot.
Really? I don't remember the poop.
Those little pellets.
I just remember like, the
wood
pellets.
chips. I smelled like wood chips as a kid. There's so many wood chips for a guinea pig.
Yeah, it's the cage cleaning. It's like how they're like 150 horsepower inside. Like, you know, it's so scary to touch them because they just like totally take off. They jet around and kick up all the wood chips. It's like,
what was your joke about holding the guinea pig?
Oh, I said I've never done cocaine. The closest I've come to doing cocaine is trying to pet a guinea pig in a cage. They're just running around kicking up chips. Try to get your hand in and out of there without freaking out. Your heart's going to race. I guarantee it.
That is so, like, I feel like that was specifically written for me to enjoy.
Some of my jokes are just for 1 to 2 people.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And they're like have a bunch of cowlicks all over their bodies.
Yeah.
And they have teeth that could hurt.
Well, you know, I had long-haired, like...
Wiener dog?
No, I had a long-haired guinea pig because I showed them. They had long hair.
Like clips?
You could if you wanted. I don't remember if I ever cut the hair, but...
My sister Hannah would have absolutely cut that hair.
Yeah.
She was cutting all the Barbie's hair.
Yeah, they get kind of hairy too, but I mean, you can... I'm kind of afraid of the age when Cleo decides that she does want a pet and it's something other than a dog or a cat. And we had all those pets, and I had a parakeet, and we had a rabbit, and we had the hamsters, and we had everything. And so I'm like, I'm afraid because it's going to remind me of how we were poor and had 100 pets in our house.
And sometimes that gerbil got dinner before me.
It's true. I mean, those things were like, oh my God. I know it is like a joke of mine. It's like a big joke in my set. No offense. Right now about how all the pets died, like horrific deaths.
Yeah, if you put that online, get ready for PETA to come for you. I got people commenting on my guinea pig bed all the time, like, this is animal abuse. I'm like, my mom had her hands full and we left it outside.
You're also like, boo fucking
I'm not saying go out there and kill pigs. I'm saying, whoops, it got a little burnt in the garage one night.
People are literally eating pigs every day, and you're like, I'm sorry that my guinea pig
died.
Would it
died
help in a garage.
Would it help if I told you that actually went on. It actually escaped and it went on to study medicine. And became a doctor guinea pig.
No, that's
starring
abuse.
in the movie Bad Guys.
Doogie guinea pig. Well, I hope you find a pet.
Are you coming down from those cookies?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm having a sugar crash.
Me too.
But I'm excited about your new pet sometime.
No, I'm not.
Okay, wait. My other sweet news was I've been watching. I was watching these videos that were making me cry. That were compilations of people giving other people baseballs in stadiums. Like if they catch the foul ball and they hand it over to like a kid. Yeah. And I was literally crying last night watching them. I was like, I did not know that was like a part of me. And like it goes, gets a ball, you know, sees the kid, gives it, and the kid is so excited. And I'm just like, oh my God, look, humans can be empathetic.
What he should do is give it to the kid who was sitting there too scared to move.
Yeah. Well,
not the kid that ran over. Okay.
Jesus, Beth.
Oh, we have a reply from last week's troll.
Okay.
Because he said watch Joe Rogan's special, which I haven't. Did you watch it?
Oh, yeah, a few times.
It says, he did say, oh, I will check it out. And then it went like this. He has a wow emoji and then a wink emoji, which kind of to me means he's not going to check it out.
I think it's weird when trolls, like when you message them back and then they're like, I think that they're just excited you message them back. And I'm like, wait, are you really a hater? Or are you a hater in sheep's clothing?
Hey, do you hate me for real or what? Mm-hmm. Be honest.
Listen, only haters and lovers, nothing in between.
Hello. Do you hate me?
Did I tell you that allegedly my dad watched dad jokes?
This
guys, if you don't know,
is huge news. No spoilers.
No spoilers, but like,
well, but this is a spoiler.
Yeah, my special is about going to see my dad,
about reconnecting with their dad, finding him
after 20 years. But it is a piece that is about, my childhood, and it is my story. And it took me a really long time to like convince myself it was okay to talk about that stuff, because you would go like, oh, well, I feel bad for him because like he can't just like go make something about it. And I was like, well, he's the fucking perpetrator. So it's like, I don't know. It took a really long time to just...
It's confusing. And it's also there's not one simple answer, because I know what you mean.
Exactly. Because
you don't want to make fun of somebody necessarily that can't retaliate or stand up for themselves or whatever it is. And ultimately too, we are considerate people, and it is our story to tell.
It is our story to tell. And what I kept thinking is somebody commented something that was so terrible.
Really?
That was just like, how dare you do this? Somebody that can't, I honestly think it was probably somebody close to him, but was like,
really,
this is something like he can't stick up for himself, and your mom probably had a lot to do with it, and she's acting so innocent, but is she so innocent? And like, my special is about domestic and verbal abuse, and so I thought to myself, I was like, like it just made me feel really bad. And
of course I can understand that feeling. It's natural.
But then I thought to myself, you're only saying that because the horrible thing didn't happen. If the horrible thing happened and he did something horrible, then there's a million documentaries about people who killed their partners.
Yes.
And it's like, so he didn't do that, thank God. But that's why you're mad. And it's so like, it could be one night away from that, but like, you're mad that someone's telling the story before that happened. It's like, I still get to tell the story. It's just like, it's not as, whatever. It just was like making me feel like, well, you fucking assholes, like all you do is watch these documentaries about people killing people, and then somebody tells a story about the lead up to what could have happened and
somehow finds the humor in it.
Yeah.
And you did give him a chance to talk. You could have said anything. You didn't cut anything out of him.
Yeah.
He went there as an adult on his
also
own volition.
And
he agreed to be filmed.
Yes. And I very much respected I had like a lot more respect for him after that happened, because he like came and did this for me.
Yep.
And then I went to go, obviously, as you know, went to go visit him when he got in a motorcycle accident. And so we did have a relationship for a little bit.
Yeah.
And anyway, my sister, I guess, told my mom on the phone. She's like, yeah, I guess dad watched the video.
Okay.
And I was like, it's a special.
Yeah.
It's not a video.
Yeah.
But then my mom did not bite, and because she didn't want to know. And my mom is really proud of the special.
Good.
And she was like, she just felt like,
I think you did a nice job of sharing I thought Mary did a nice job of sharing some of her feelings. Like, she had to be vulnerable too.
Yeah, exactly. And so anyways, it was like, you know, something.
So your mom didn't bite, but then did.
Yeah. So we don't
Sandra
exactly know what, it wasn't Sandra's Michaela, but like we don't know what he thought. I don't want to know, and neither does my mom.
Okay.
And so
Valid.
But you know, maybe, hopefully it's not a developing story, but just wanted to tell you that, because I was like,
I can relate.
Definitely riddled in fear for a few days.
I understand that. I mean, you know, our stories are similar and of course different in their own ways. But I can relate to the feeling of wondering what my dad's going to think about a joke I've written. Yeah. I will say, because the way my dad is and his personality, he has many times said, talk about whatever you want. Yeah. So I have been given the go ahead from him. Mm-hmm. The only person who's asked me not to was his wife. Yeah. And
you don't talk about her anymore.
I stopped. I used to. Yeah. And she asked me to stop, and I stopped.
Those jokes were hilarious. R.I.P. to those jokes.
Yeah. So, but I can relate to that fear, because even though I have the permission, it's like I'm still talking about it. Right. And I, you know, also, you know, share this, which I think it's interesting, because everybody's limited to their scope of understanding and how they know how to communicate. So my dad has business cards made of me and passes them out. I'm sure everybody.
What do they say on them?
My name and the special. And then
okay, fun.
My Blonde Medicine, my record label, sent him a bunch of QR codes for like, if you didn't want me them as an album. Right. So now he's been passing those out, which I gave permission for him to, because he was already doing that. And I was like, how about pass out something with a QR code on it if you're going to do it? So he's loving doing that. He's a sign spinner, for people who don't know my dad, in Orlando. He does it for businesses, but he'll go out with my special whenever I've had a special in the past, 4 years. And I guess one of his neighbors watched the special, because obviously he's telling people to, and said to him, well, you didn't even raise her. Wow. And he didn't. The thing is, he's reporting that to me because we're talking on the phone. Yeah. And to me, like, I can't really read in if he's not going to then also expound upon those feelings. So she said this to me. Is that it? Yeah. Or do you want to say your feelings? Because I can guess your feelings. Right. And I'm very intuitive and hyper aware all the time because of how we grew up. Yeah. Feeling unsafe, you're constantly aware of everybody's feelings and what everybody's doing and where everybody is. So yeah, I have a lot of those skills to know what he's probably feeling. Yeah. But he didn't say any. He didn't say it. No, he didn't say it, and that hurt my feelings.
No, did that neighbor, was she saying that to get at him?
I think my dad, in a funny way, as you know, and I think we've told this story on here, is a bit of a tyrant sometimes in the neighborhood, and yet is also probably beloved by some. Right. He is so the funny thing is, the same lady who said that to him has been gunning for Yard of the Month. And my dad won't give it to her because he's in charge of giving it.
He's the judge?
Mm-hmm. My dad is the judge of Yard of the Month of his community.
And how's your dad's yard?
It's impeccable. It's immaculate.
I love that. Okay.
And she wants it. Yeah. And he won't give it to her.
And what do you get if you get Yard of the Month?
You get the sign in your yard for a month that says Yard of the Month.
How is this real?
It's real.
This is
and he won't give it to her, but she wants it. And I'm like, so he tells me that information. I don't want to read into it. He hasn't said how he feels. Right. And then he says, but she's also the person I won't give Yard of the Month. So that's his probably interpretation of it.
I love that your special is mixed in with this Yard of the Month controversy.
And I said, well, you should tell her, how would she know about the raccoons if I didn't have a hand in raising her? Mm-hmm. I was there every other holiday and for a month in the summer.
Right.
I visited my dad. He didn't, as I joke, because it was court ordered.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I spent time with my dad growing up, but my mom raised me and my sisters in Ohio.
Yeah.
My mom was a single mom for a long time and had a lot on her plate and to deal with, especially in the aftermath of their divorce.
But it feels really hard. I mean, I'm sure I could imagine that this is how we both feel. It feels like I don't deserve to have that feeling of like feeling bad because of mistakes they made as parents, and we're all going to make mistakes. But like the mistakes that our fathers made were really big mistakes.
Yes, they were.
And almost
criminal,
definitely life threatening.
100%.
And so I don't like that, like,
to our other parent.
Yes.
Which affected us, who we are, who we love.
And I have to feel, the thought that like people think, well, I'd like to hear what he has to say, or like, what do you like? Don't you feel bad, or like, aren't you scared and all this? And it's just like, yes, unfortunately, I do feel all those feelings, but all I want to feel is like, I got to tell my story because that's on you for doing that. That affected us, and like I'm talking about it.
Work through your feelings a lot of times is I'm going to make this funny. I'm going to get control over this. Yeah. And by getting some sense of control over that, I've formulated my side of the story and my humorous take on it. Yeah. The reality to me is abuse, assault, in the realm of physical, emotional, sexual. When people say stuff like that, it's not that it's like completely invalidated, but it is another way to silence people.
They're very afraid, like in some of those messages, it's like you can tell they're afraid in that Me Too backlash sort of thing of like, oh, you think every guy is whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm not saying that. I'm literally telling you this is my story. You don't have to like watch
it. If you can't tell it, someone who experienced firsthand, and at a level that they deem worthy,
exactly.
Like he didn't just push you down once,
they
like to make it worthy.
Exactly.
It's in the realm of being the perfect victim. Why I felt okay coming forward as someone who was later in my life abused by a partner was because I thought, oh, it actually happened. People know me to be a truthful person. Like I basically had the makeup to be a perfect victim or whatever, in the sense that people would believe me. And yet still there were people the majority of people believe me, sure, because it did happen. Yeah. And not only that, I have proof and an admission and many things people don't even know about that happened outside of the public realm. But it's like, I had all of those things and still...
Because that's because these people go like, well, he didn't kill you. And it's like, he has to kill you to for you to be a real victim. Yeah. It's like, they're just like, they're not letting like all of the stuff that happens before that or to stop that or to change.
And we would
things.
now like to cut to Anna, what's her name? Anna Nicole Simpson for comment. It's like, oh, she's dead.
What's her name? Nicole Simpson. You put Anna Nicole Smith.
Oh, sorry, rest in peace. But Nicole Brown Simpson is what I meant. But it's like,
but Nicole if she Brown told her story before that, you know what I mean?
She would have been.
Then it's like,
she would have probably not. I don't know if she would have been believed, but if people, I feel bad I messed up her name, but Nicole Brown Simpson, victim of O.J. Simpson.
Yes.
I think they have it on record that there were like 14 domestic violence calls made before the murder. Yeah. And so it's like. You have to have it's like to be believed, you have to have all these qualities or like, I guess like what you're saying when people come and present the alternate option or like what feels like standing up for people who are on the abusing end. It's like, why do the victims have to have compassion for the people that hurt them?
Exactly. I'm like, I'm sorry, but like
I mean, we do because we've thought about it.
We do because it's hard. It's hard not to.
We're human beings.
And it's hard not to be like, it's like, of course I'm thinking, well, I know like he didn't have the chance to like grow up, but like I'm so privileged compared to him, obviously, with like the way that I grew up. I will say that like that stuff happened in my life. And like, I, sometimes when people are abused, then they're abusers. And it's like, you can also stop that from happening. So
totally.
You do have a choice at some point. I mean, some people don't, I understand that, but like I had a choice and I believe my dad also had a choice.
True.
And, you know, it's unfortunate the way that he grew up and the poverty that he grew up in and the church that he grew up in. But like, I just like, I hate when people are like, well, what about him? Or what about him? And you're just like, I don't know, just go fucking fund his documentary, his docu-special about this,
I guess.
Yeah. And I've never said anything bad after. I'm just like, listen, I'm happy. I'm like really grateful that he came and met me.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel for you. I've had similar feelings. It just doesn't feel good. It's complicated. And sometimes when I face those comments or think about them, it's sad, right? And we've talked about this before, which is, why am I focusing on the negative comments? So many people loved it, right?
So many people,
but
have
I've
so
obviously
amazing.
been there.
Yeah.
And it sucks because really what we're saying is like, yes, we're sensitive people.
Yeah.
We're sensitive artists. We put our heart into something. We made something extremely original and authentic to ourselves.
And we know how,
and that can be
honestly,
painful.
Not to be like, oh, look what we did. But like, it is so hard to like, when it's putting that together and when everything that you've done, which is really helped. I mean, I know it's helped so many people. And I just think that like, it's like, obviously we will push through and we will go like, this is uncomfortable, but like, I believe in like telling the story and being funny at the same time, you know, and it's like,
yeah,
but, yeah, it is one of those things you have to think about when you talk, even if you were to have your own podcast and you're talking about people on your podcast, it's like, there's always going to be, you know, there might be somebody that's like, hey, you know, I watched that. Hey, you talked, I know who you're talking about. Hey, you know,
yeah.
And it's like, it's par for the course, but it's, definitely terrifying.
Yeah.
It's
yes.
so scary.
Well, when you're doing stuff that's close to your heart, it's like, I've said this before many times, but it's like, I was a theater major and I used to like, I remember one of our professors who was like so beloved. We loved him, Roger Bechtel, and he went to Yale. And so that was like, wow, because we're at Miami in Ohio getting to learn from him. But he said, remember, you are not your art.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually don't know who that's attributed to. Maybe he didn't make it up. But,
right.
And I remember when I fully could call myself a stand-up comic, I was like, yeah, I'm not my art, but it's hard to tell us apart.
Yeah.
And so it's not a painting I made and I put up and I'm like,
right.
Take it or leave it. It's like my core.
Stand-up is very different. I feel like I very much am my art.
But that's the thing.
Yeah.
We could choose to just do topical. We could do political.
Or to have a persona.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that's our choice.
Right.
But also it's kind of like my only choice, I feel.
Right.
And I also think a lot of people think, and I had this in my current hour, it's one of the reasons that I feel so distant and far from my sister because of the partner she chose. I don't like her current husband, my middle sister's current husband. It's because I find him to be so inauthentic, you know, like telling tall tales.
Right.
Like it's like weird and fabricated and there's always like a hole in the story.
Yeah.
And it leaves me uneasy.
Right.
You know, not in some like boo-hoo way. It's just like that doesn't seem right.
The thing is you hear stories every single night 'cause it's what you've done for 17 years. So you know when something's wrong.
And I include this in my part of my current act, which is basically like, I think people think comics lie. Mm-hmm. And some of them do.
Right.
For ssure. Like when they tell something racist and they're like, my best friend's black.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, that's part of what you needed to say.
Does your best friend know you told that joke?
Yeah. And I'm about to kind of face that actually, moving on to the next topic, but I'll finish this thought, sorry, which is, I think people think comics lie. Some of them do. I can only speak for myself.
Right.
I'm telling my stories of my life, my experience, how I feel. We've also talked about this, which is sometimes when stand-up, you're talking about stuff that happened maybe 3 months ago, a year ago too. So you have to really figure out when you want to move on from that and sort of like shed a snake skin.
Right.
And move past
that. Exactly.
Like molt away that experience.
It's time to stop thinking about that and talking about it.
But I'm doing the Victoria Theater back in my hometown of Dayton, Ohio, November 2nd, I think it's a Saturday. And my whole family will be there and have jokes in my act about our family fissure. And I'm, again, similar to my dad. My middle sister has always said, talk about whatever you want. Joke about whatever you want.
So have you already brought up the subject of like, hey, I just so you know.
Well, the reason I thought of it is because what we're talking about. And also she messaged me on Instagram like, hey, I think me and her friend Kelly want to come and can we get seats? And the funny thing is she did the thing which is like happy to buy. It's like, you're my sister.
Yeah. You'll get in free. I know.
Mo's siblings get into my shows.
Yeah. for free.
But I'm just like, so I'll mention it to her because I don't think he's coming anyway, but I'm happy to mention it to her and just give her the heads up. Like, just so you know, I have jokes about it.
Yeah.
Our family, like I always do.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I'll do the same thing where I'll even say the whole joke. I'll be like, hey, so here's the joke. And, you know, with my sister, Mary Kate, like I basically was calling her, you know, talking about her being a stripper. Which she has done some things that are like that, but it's mostly like she does pole stuff. Yeah. But the joke is the stripper part. Not that strippers are funny. They're better than me, but it's just part of the joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something you definitely have to, I think, oh man, it's a fine line.
It's also for my mom too, you know, like, cause I quote her something she said that became a point of contention for their relationship. And it's like, I'm not defending my mom in it, but I'm also saying like, yeah, I mean, we're all a result of how we grew up in our messaging. Yeah. And you can then recognize that later and be like, yeah, I guess that is why I said that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, you have to,
if you love somebody, you have to be able to quite literally say, and Adam does a good job of communicating this, like, and as we're discussing this, he doesn't say I reserve the right to, but like, I reserve the right to take something back. Right. Like if I say something and I go, you know what, that's not what I mean. Yeah. If you're having an adult conversation, you're allowed to like say something.
You're also allowed to say like when you're wrong or like, you know, like in the moment I thought I believed that, 30 minutes later, I actually don't. Yeah.
So anyway, I think my mom won't love part of that joke, but.
Yeah. I said my mom had herpes, which she doesn't in the first 3 months of doing stand up. And she's like, oh, Jesus Christ, why did you say that? And I was like, because it's hilarious. And
it is hilarious as long as it's fully silly.
It's fully obviously a joke, and obviously a terrible joke because you've never heard it. It's like it did not last that long. No. But that's the only joke that she was like, Jesus Christ. Now all of them she loves, and they are all based in reality. Maybe it was because that one was not based in reality. Yeah. Or was it? We will see when we have my mom on.
Mary, you dirty girl. You know, my mom and I had a podcast for a bit called Your Mom.
We love we love here on this podcast. We love your old podcast.
Yeah. And we called Maria Bamford's mom, Marilyn, who has since passed away, but it's like one of those nice things to treasure, her talking about Maria on the podcast. But Maria's mom, Marilyn, and my mom kind of ganged up on me about a joke of mine because they started talking about this topic, which is like, hey, are there any jokes of your daughters that you don't like? Right. And there are some for both of them that they both didn't like. Sorry, I keep stretching my back. The one my mom doesn't like is when I say, I was born in Ohio. My mom raised me and my two sisters there. My mom still lives at home. A loser.
Yeah. Oh, that's so
My mom doesn't like that joke. And then Marilyn piled on and was like, oh, that's mean. You shouldn't say that. I was like, you guys.
Out of all the jokes.
That's supposed to be where she lives. That's the joke.
That's so funny.
If I said it about my sisters, that might be mean. Because they should have fled the coop.
That's hilarious. Anyway, maybe we'll be able to play a clip from that.
My mom raised me and my two older sisters in Dayton, Ohio, and my mom still lives at home. Loser. But
we have run our time by talking about all things abuse. Sweethearts. Oh. Yeah, abuse and sweethearts.
And so
I like giving a trigger warning after the show.
Yeah,
trigger warning.
Trigger warning. We didn't get too detailed.
No.
That'll be on Marc Maron's podcast. When I'm on that, coming soon, whenever it comes.
Yeah,
this week
soon.
But next episode 13, Lucky 13.
Yeah.
We will finally address your coffee orders.
Finally address it. Also,
the coffee binder will come out.
Can I say? Oh, maybe not in New York for coffee, because I was like, we could also we could talk about it off the pod. But Beth is. Obviously one of my besties, and Beth and Alana are coming to New York with me to celebrate my birthday, and they know it's hard for me to get older each year, so they're gonna be there to
pick her up off the
hold
floor.
Me, yes,
massage her knees
while I'm crying, and we're gonna go see Oh Mary,
and we're gonna hold her face back like this during the show.
Yeah, the whole time. You're gonna make me look 10 years younger. So
Sarah said Wait, it was us. You, me, Monica, Christina, Catherine Martinez. It was the Largo show.
Yeah.
We were taking our photo in the hallway. And Sarah says to Monica, will you pull my neck skin back? That's why we're smiling so hard in the photo.
Like this in the photos, but we're just like pulling everyone's neck back.
Like a kitten.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you. Good
Sweet
night.
dreams. Good night.